American historian Theodore Corbett's No Turning Point, The Saratoga Campaign in Perspective, 2012, offers a fresh interpretation of the Saratoga Campaign, long heralded as a decisive turning point in the American Revolutionary War. Corbett, however, contends that the campaign is best understood locally as a chapter within a prolonged civil war among regional factions, a conflict that persisted into the 1780s. Most military historians overlook the Civil War dimension entirely, focusing solely on professional armies. This account shows that doing so is perilous. Corbett's insight that British General John Burgoyne failed to grasp that his plans had to contend with an already fractured and confusing civil war, where distinguishing friend from foe was nearly impossible, has been recognized by scholars as opening a novel perspective on a pivotal episode of the Revolution. Corbett's narrative begins with a detailed examination of the complex social and political dynamics of the Hudson-Champlain backcountry, stretching along the Canadian border through New Hampshire and Vermont as the Revolutionary War began. These tensions, Corbett reveals, dated back to the early 1760s, when the first Euro-American settlers arrived. From that moment, low-level violence became commonplace amid multiple axes of discord. Tenant farmers sought to challenge the entrenched power of landed families like the Van Rensselaers and Schuyler's. Settlers from New York clashed over territorial claims with New Hampshire's Green Mountain Boys, and a mosaic of ethnic and religious groups, Irish Methodists, Catholic Highlanders, Scotch-Irish Presbyterians, and New England Congregationalists, lived in bitter cultural and religious conflict. Native American nations, particularly the Iroquois League of Six Nations, added another potent layer to the region's complexity, serving as a formidable diplomatic and military force. Corbett also emphasizes the presence of a significant African American enslaved population, completing the portrait of a deeply fragmented society. Given this tangled local context, it is unsurprising that the Revolutionary War here never settled into a straightforward patriots versus loyalists struggle. Instead, the Hudson-Champlain backcountry dissolved into a multifaceted civil war, fueled primarily by local concerns over land and power rather than clear nationalist loyalties. Corbett argues that no meaningful understanding of the 1777 Saratoga Campaign is possible without situating it within this intricate web of local conflicts. From the war's outset, British commanders sought to exploit these fractures to dampen rebellion. First, Sir Guy Carleton, Governor of Canada, and later Burgoyne launched invasions into the region. Burgoyne enlisted numerous native warriors, including Mohawks and others from the Great Lakes, while rebel leaders recruited Oneida and Tuscarora allies. Yet the agendas of British and rebel commanders often diverged sharply from those of their native allies, resulting in deepening factionalism and an even more tangled local situation, one that neither Burgoyne nor his opponents could fully comprehend. The initial campaigns only widened local divisions. Burgoyne attempted to inspire loyalty by offering protection and paying for supplies, recruiting up to 800 locals for the British side. Meanwhile, American General Philip Schuyler implemented a harsh, scorched earth policy, confiscating provisions without payment to coerce locals into abandoning the region. Corbett suggests that Burgoyne's strategy faltered partly because of local rivalries. A loyalist, Philip Skene, persuaded Burgoyne to send German troops under Baron von Riedzel to Burlington, a rebel bastion, possibly as a maneuver aimed at a local adversary. Riedzel's detachment was decisively defeated, forcing Burgoyne to abandon his pacification efforts. These struggles culminated in the battles of Freeman's Farm and Bemis Heights in autumn 1777. Burgoyne faced 6,000 men against some 9,000 Americans, with another rebel force threatening his supply lines. Corbett argues that Burgoyne's critical mistake was failing to retreat while he could, choosing instead to hold position and await reinforcements from New York City. Burgoyne, bound by orders to reach Albany, fixated on the South and on the hope that Clinton's advance would break through, a dilemma that shaped his conduct during the siege. By mid-October, Burgoyne was trapped. He allowed many loyalists to escape, but surrendered his regular troops on October 17th. Here Corbett parts sharply from traditional views of Burgoyne's surrender as the Northern. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.